what I'm noticing, even just hearing from you, you are a product of great mentorship, and you had great people. It seems a strong father, strong, mentors in your life, musically and spiritually, that have sharpened you and passed on wisdom and made you a very strong and intelligent and shrewd businessman. So, it's so great to see. This is what I want our audience to see is, an artist that this is the difference in an artist that actually is seasoned and ready for the business. We've seen recently a lot of other artists of today on the Twitter complaining about their record deals, wanting to quit, and you have been able to endure all these bumps in the road and capitalized off of the success, that you've accumulated over the years, with your prior label. You were able to be released and actually capitalize on that. So you've had a lot of smart moves, and so it leads me to my next question. um Now that you're the boss, basically, and of course you have a great team of people that are probably, experienced, knowledgeable, but now that you're the boss, how do you find time for the creative? Because a lot of times you lose the passion for the creative or the music when you're involved in the numbers and the strategies and, the realities of the business and the long nights of, hashing out deals and waiting. So how do you keep that passion for the music, that creativity, when you carve out time to actually write songs? Because you're writing too, you're producing. So
I mean, just like in a relationship, you got to make time for it, right? Like, if you don't make time for it, time is going to pass you by. You're going to allow anything to take you away from what you love. And so for me, I always make time for it. I always tell my team that, January and February is usually the months where I go and I create. You know what I mean? And whatever I come out with within those 2 months is then we're on full attack mode for the next year or 2 years of the music that I created from out of that. But I need that time. I'll take interviews, I'll take certain shows, I'll take gigs or whatever the case may be. But outside of that, I'm fully dedicating my time and my life to what I love. And yeah, sometimes when you are in the seat and the boss of, of your business, it can get a little mundane, and you start to feel like you're getting removed from the actual magic of the music. But then you have
yeah.
to understand there's a bigger play at hand, right? So no matter like what the streams look like, and I've been extremely blessed within my indie career. It's been 2.5 years and we've done over 60 million streams, and which it may not mean a lot to anybody else, but I always think about, I started at zero. You
Yeah,
know what
no,
I
that's impressive. That's impressive.
mean? You know what I mean? So that's, to me, I look at that to say, in those 2 years, somebody's listening to the music. You know what I mean? And so, I'm not getting into my business mind because it was going to take me there. But needless to say, is you got to make time for it. No matter what is going on, like, you have to make it your business to say, even if it's an hour, 2 hours, just to like sit there and say, I'm going to sort through these drums. I'm going to write something good or bad. We're going to do something tonight because of the fact that I said that I was going to, right? Like,
right.
So to me, that's the most important part of it. And so it's not just a product, but it's also, I'm realizing, it's a soundtrack to people's lives. People really make memories and moments from out of that. And so it's you know what I mean? It's not even a gift and a curse. Like, these are two blessings that it's like, yo, I have the responsibility to make really good music and memories for people, but then also I can make a really good living out of this as well, because I understand what I'm worth and I understand how much the dollar is, the power of the dollar within the music business and how to move it. There's nothing better than that. And so I take the time and I sacrifice it because it's worth it. The people deserve the music, and my team deserves for us to be profitable.
Yeah, but thinking about that, because the modern day industry is sort of alien to a lot of, as I said, to generation, and I'll put myself in there. Who, I mean, now I listen to music on YouTube, or maybe I
Yeah,
see stuff on Instagram. You have my kids who see stuff on TikTok,
yeah,
but then how does that become money to the artist? It's very different when we were buying a CD or it's on the
yeah.
radio. The mechanics were there, so not like looking to get in the numbers, but
Yeah, no, you're good.
when I spoke with H-Town, they said, look, we're putting out music to get tours. The music is to say, hey, we're still around. We're making the videos. It
Yeah.
was more so to let people know that they're around. They weren't thinking about the streams. They were just thinking about, okay, yeah, we're still around. And they were playing and they were going on tours, singing their legacy tracks.
Mhm.
But for newer artists like yourself, I'm saying newer artists, but I'm saying
Oh, that's
independent artists, I think of people like, because you're not on a
fine.
label as it were. But when and I'm a good friend of I don't know if you know Nefertiti Avani.
Mhm.
Okay, she's done some stuff. She just did some stuff with Fat Joe and Snoop. But I'm just saying so what I'm seeing is that you're getting the music out there, but are you looking at that and thinking, okay, good, there's the money coming from that, or is it like, nope, I need to go on tour, and that's where I'm generating my money to live as a good have a good living.
Truth be told, I'm more wealthier as an independent artist than I ever was as a major. Let's start there. Two, um, there's a beauty in understanding your world of music, right? And how that world of music works for you, right? So for me, the beauty of independence is actually looking at my analytics, not just streaming, right? Because I understand, like, yeah, people consume on YouTube, right? But it's just like a sales funnel, right? You have the bigger loops closer to the beginning of it, right? So everybody has their own sale. So for me, I have to make my world as big as possible. So my sacrifice in a lot of things could be to other people a novelty. But one of the biggest sales for me is my mashups, right? So that's ring one of my cylinder. I go in the boxes and I do wop and ooh, woo, 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 woo. And maybe you'll listen to my music, but maybe not. Then there's a ring two. The ring two is you listening to my music and you actually liking a song, right? Then the next ring around that is to make you a supporter or a subscriber or a member that is attached to me. Ring three. Ring four is making you a believer, right? Or make you curious enough to see, is he worth the dollar when I go to a tour? And even when the touring doesn't work, to understand your business to say, okay, now here's the beauty of cover licensing, right? You still make money off of cover licensing. You still make money as far as within the analytics of DSPs. You have satellite radio. You have so many different outlets where you can make the return on your investment, right? And I think for a lot of artists, they don't build their world big enough in order to really see how much they can actually make from off of their ability.
Preach.
I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I'm not afraid to say, we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're not touring. And when I'm not making money from this avenue, but you know what, let's create a show called The Mashup Show. And we're going to invite OGs and vets on like Avant and Selena Johnson and all of these amazing artists and SWV, and we're going to have fun. And I don't know where this is going to take me, but let's just have this in the can. You know what I mean? Until there's sponsors that come about. Shout out to Respect the Roots to say, hey, we want to do product placement on your show. You're gonna do product placement on my show. That's money. You know what I mean? You establishing a relationship with the Sirius XM. Shout out to Heart and Soul on Sirius XM and BJ Stone and Cayman Kelly and and Miss Michelle. you know, them giving me an opportunity to say, hey, we want you to be a guest DJ. Some artists may not have built their world big enough, and they'd be like, nah, I don't really do guest DJ stuff. It's a missed opportunity, right? So
Right.
it limits their ability to make money in different outlets. In this nature of the business of the music industry, you have to display as many talents and as many abilities as you possibly can in order to create a business structure for yourself. I mean, I can go on and on about this stuff because it's so many different ways that I create money for myself. You know what I mean? Like, I could care less about Spotify playlisting me when I own a part of Spotify as far as in stocks. I understand their analytics to say, hey, thank you for this 1 million streams. Thank you for this 2,500. And I'm going to put this 2,500 into my Webull account, and I'm going to make a couple of $100 from that. And then I'm going to flip that, and I'm going to do it again. So that money that I was sitting on for a month or 2 months of just, you know, getting a couple of pennies in the bank, now the same DSP that thinks that they're cheating me, I'm making money off them, right? So I ain't worried about that stream when y'all making me money. Thank you, Cardi B and everybody else that's making this work, because I'm a part of the Spotify business, not the music, the business. And so for me, I think in those, you know what I mean? I think in those ways to make sure that I never have to go without. You know what I mean? Like, it's more than just like putting music out to go on the road. Now, more so than anything, going on the radio equates to going on the road, right? Like, what I've understood as far as radio, especially right now, is, you know, you have these records, and people have this expectation to say, yo, you know, we're going to go on the radio and this is going to increase my following. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to do this and that. And it doesn't, because it's a different format, right? It's an older format in the sense where, you know, shout out to my aunties and uncles. They ain't going to Shazam it, right?
No.
They're going to listen to it. They're going to do. And your job is to get a goddamn booking agent, because it ain't like the radio station is going to say, yo, Kevin Ross, blah, 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 man, your record's hot. You know, we need you to be at Summerfest. Your job is to find as many people that understand your world, or that can help to build your world or assist with your world, to say, then if you got a record on radio, you hire a booking agent to say, all right, this record is playing really well in Columbus, Ohio. Now let's find a promoter in Columbus, Ohio to make sure that we get our money's worth there. We tell that promoter how much is spending there. They'll feel the effect of it to say, okay, how many spends? All right, cool. Turn on the radio. See, you hear it? All right, cool. So when are we performing? You know what I mean? So it's that's a whole nother way. And that's just the live aspect. But if we take that away, there's a whole, you know, it's a different ball game. It's a whole new world. Like, that people be so focused on getting playlisted on DSPs that it's like, that's only an increment of, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. That's only an increment of what you make. Hold on,
I mean, just before you came on, I was speaking to Matthew Knowles, Beyonce. I don't want to call him Beyonce's dad, because he was more than that.
Yeah.
But he said that the moment he got into the music industry, the first thing he did was went to college, to upskill himself, went on every seminar you can, so that once he got in, he started to make relationships, started to know what to do, what not to do, what the perceptions about parents who have kids in the industry, so that and change that perspective, where the label execs of a Sony loved him. And he understood the business. So he understood that, look, our kids aren't going to make all the money off of the records, but we need to make money off of branding and public and dolls and fashion and all that stuff. That's where we're going to make our money from. So what you're saying is very similar, you know, going in and just not looking at, I've got a hot video and I'm big on TikTok and like, this is it. But thinking really outside of the box, and really be in control of your destiny. Because I guess, as I said, as things change, what what he mentioned was the fact that artists, and even Jay King, who was part of, he was part of, Jay King, what's the name?
Club Nouveau.
Club Nouveau, yes. So
Yeah.
he said the same thing, that artists are lazy, and he didn't say lazy. They want to go to a label, give me the loan, give me all that money, and you've owned all my stuff because we don't want to do the work. And he was saying, look, if they just do the work, invest in themselves, they can reap the fruit. And how much of this was down to going to college and getting that discipline? Because I think it's not saying college is everything, but there's a discipline that you get in college that hopefully opens up your mindset to think outside the box. Because you were saying that they said, hey, we don't want that college stuff around here. You're making us feel as if you're more qualified than us. But how much do you think going through that, 3-4 years of college and then getting into the industry helped?
I think college, if anything, and I think this is for corporate America too, what college is just an indication of your willingness to learn, right?
Right.
Your ability to learn, or your ability to adapt, your ability to retain information, things of that nature, to not fold under pressure, just like very, very simple things, but to the average person, it may not compute as that, to be like, that's not all that they're looking for. It's like, yeah, like, I wasn't going to use goddamn calculus or anything in in my life, but it's the mindset, just like training. You know what I mean? It's like, are you willing to go through this process to fulfill your, you know what I mean? To get this goddamn degree. You know what I mean? And so that I will say, college allowed for me to accept certain things, in the sense to say, okay, I'm able to learn, I'm able to adapt, I'm able to soak this in, I'm ready to soak this in. And not to say that you can't do that while being a high school grad, right? But it's something about college where, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the courses I took were very unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? But it gave me the skill set to retain. It gave me the skill set to be open to receiving the information, and you know what I mean, and executing in a different way. So I would definitely say that, especially within my indie journey, because I learned that even when you're independent, that doesn't mean that you're on your own. And a team is very important. I needed a business mentor just as much as I needed a music mentor. You know what I mean? That was important, because I couldn't go on this journey and just be like, I had it all backwards. I had it all wrong. I'm thinking all I got to do is make the music, do a photo shoot, get the graphics right, let the people decide, all of the majestic words that people use, that, that's literally just like maybe 1%, you know what I mean, of a release, or like, the business, right? So for me, it was really like taking that college experience, the networking, being able to communicate with people. It is important. I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't recommend anyone going into debt for it. I always tell, especially kids that are super talented or super intelligent, if your GPA is 4.0 and above, there's no way that you shouldn't be going to school on a scholarship, because you are a prime example of what the school desires and what they need. So that's just on a scholastic level. On a musician level, if you're extremely talented and you killing on YouTube or whatever the case may be, and they found you and they ain't not willing to give you a full scholarship, I'd say go where you're appreciated. You know what I mean? And if college isn't for you and you have a clear path on what you want to do, then do it. I know for me, I did not know what the hell I wanted to do at 17 years old. You know what I mean? So college was for me to kind of figure out who I wanted to be, who I was becoming. So it was necessary for me.
Thanks for watching the show today.
And before we go, remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
Yeah, but also remember to hit the notification button so you can be notified when we have a future show.
That too.
All right.
All right. See you
Thanks,
next time.
guys.